Welcome back, my name's Dylan and I am drawing shots from the movie Heat, and today we continue with this moment just before the robbery actually begins. I had a close-up of Robert De Niro before looking down, and then he's pulled on his mask, and now I've got this kind of cool shot of him pulling the mask down. It's pretty simple. You can just see his eyes and his tip of his nose and his mouth as he pulls this mask on, so I'm going to get straight into it. Just to get placement right, I'm going to start with a bit of a rough, just to block in the overall shape of things. So, and his hands here. Gloved hands. This would really be the moment of commitment, wouldn't it? Of committing to the robbery. If you put on a black mask in a bank, you're committing to either robbing the bank or very quickly getting tackled and arrested, I assume. All right, just want to block in rough shapes here, so I don't want to spend too long on this. His eyes are going to sit right on this on these crosshairs, something like that. Nose there, mouth or chin here, mouth here, tip of the nose about here. Okay, that's enough for a rough. Get into the drawing. All right, so I might start with his eyes. Always good to just start with the focal point, and in a shot like this, we're going to be looking, well, our eye is going to jump straight to his eyes. So it makes sense to start with that focal point. Just going to turn off the crosshairs on my reference here because it's blocking my view of his eye. In this exact moment, he really looks, you know, where I can only see his eyes, he looks so much like he did in Taxi Driver. It's kind of weird. I guess because I can't see the rest of his face, he just looks a little younger. I was obsessed with Taxi Driver as a kid. My friend had to tell me what it was and pointed out, like at a kind of like the reject shop, like a cheap supermarket, and they just had it. It's just the difference between today and when I was a kid in the 90s. They just had Taxi Driver on VHS at the checkout, you know, near the chewing gum and mints and things. And so I bought it. I was quite young and I watched it and I was like, I don't know what the hell this is, but I love it. And I watched it over and over and over. Became obsessed with Robert De Niro. All right. Don't want to get bogged down here, but also do need to make sure that the eyes look like they go together. Sketching the eyelid here. All right. Bit of eyebrow here. I think that really I can just drop in the mask now. It's kind of folded over, and he's like unfolding it as he pulls it down. All right, that's working okay. I do wonder if I've got that nose a little high, so just bring this down a touch. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. He's got this kind of weirdly, I think that's why it reminds me of Taxi Driver. He's got this kind of weirdly smug smile almost happening here, which is kind of cool. It's that sort of expression that only Robert De Niro can have. Kind of looks like a naughty kid. Don't know if I'm quite capturing it, but we'll see. I mean, it is just going to be a very quick shot in this sequence. Alright. Kind of weird trying to get likeness right when a lot of the face is covered up by a mask. Okay, I think that's working well enough for me to just press on though. Bit of stitching on the mask here. Alright, just working on the gloved hands now. They're not that easy to see in the reference. I can definitely don't want to get bogged down here, but at the same time, it's like with hands, if you draw something, if something looks wrong, it can kind of ruin the whole drawing, so you've got to make sure that it all looks passable at least. All right, bit of hint of his shirt under here. Don't think we really see his shoulders though. Okay, I can turn off my rough layer. Right, his facial hairs, kind of important here. Right, just putting some shadows in here under his eyes. Now I kind of want to go through and just work out what of this I can make pure black. So I think I can sort of make the side of his hand here pure black. All right. Okay, I think that's about it. For the drawing, I'm going to fill him with some tone before I get into some basic shading to finish the frame off with. So I've already got the background drawn from a previous frame, the last one, and it's not much of a background anyway. It's just kind of a abstract sense of a blurred back wall that he's standing against. So that's it. It's not much to look at, but it just means I don't have to actually draw any background this time. So I'm going to put that hint of light at the top of his mask there. His skin can be a bit lighter, but I still want to maintain the nice shadows in there, so I will drop that in like so. Okay, same with down here, light on his nose, and just generally lighten up the lower his jaw, and then I will go back and drop in shadow. I may have slightly overdone the smile here, so I can get rid of that by just removing a tiny bit of this line on the side, and you'll see how quickly that will actually remove any sense of there being a smile, like a smug smile there. Wanted a bit of that, but not too much. Okay, almost done. A little bit of highlights on the glove here. Start painting over the top actually. And I had this glow from the previous frame as well. I'll bring that back in as well. Let's see how this looks with my blue filter, because that'll lighten it up even more. Yeah, see, that's lightening it up even more, which means I might want to make the black fabric on his mask a little darker. That looks kind of cool. Go with that. Of the glove a little darker. This should be a bit darker behind here. This side should be pretty dark. All right, and what I should always do is flip any kind of close-up like this. You should flip it and just check to see if it works just as well flipped. And in this case, what I think I want to do is just slightly reduce the width of this eye. I don't know why it's jumping like that. It shouldn't be doing that. There we go. It's a bit better. And I want to just slightly move over the iris here. All right. Possibly just tweak the shape of his head up here. Nothing major. Just sort of balancing it out a bit. Let's flip it back to its actual rotation. All right. I think that about does this one. As always, I'll probably fiddle with it a little bit before I finalize it, but for the sake of this video, that's obviously the majority of the work done. He's pulling on the mask. I guess, storyboard wise, I should add a little arrow here that just makes it super clear that that's what he's doing. So, a bit of an arrow, just making it clear that he's pulling on this mask. And color's a little dark, so I'll just switch to this one. Okay. All right, that's it for another heat frame. What are we up to? We're almost up to 30 frames. Probably only 500 to go, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.